right now on No More Down Low.
Was he killed because he's gay, or was he in the wrong place at the wrong time?
A murder in Uganda. Prison time in the Cameroon. Why is LGBT hatred reaching a feverish pitch in the motherland?
I'm Kendall Hogan. Just how do we fight homophobia in the African diaspora?
First and foremost, we can give a message to the rest of the world that human rights are important.
Did you just color purple me?
Then, get ready to laugh out loud. The princess of comedy has arrived.
She's a fierce, funny woman. I'm Janora McDuffie. We'll meet comedy's triple threat, Gloria Bigelow.
I do have great taste, but that's not the way that I should be introduced, you know what I mean, at a club.
Then, what's America's infatuation with black men in drag?
It's a comedic moment. People need to just chill. Let that go, man.
And in straight talk, Phylicia meets the real Precious.
I didn't think an African-American woman, heterosexual woman, at that, could acquire HIV.
It's all coming up next on No More Down Low.
Hey y'all, this is Linnell, and you're watching No More Down Low.
Mardi Gras, the food, the fun, the excitement. Hello everyone and welcome to Mardi Gras, West Hollywood style.
That's right, this is not Bourbon Street, it's Santa Monica Boulevard, but we are having a great time all the same. And to kick things off for this episode of our show, we've got Mark Noble down at the Pan-African Film Festival.
What's going on over there, Mark?
Well, Kendall and Janora, as we're celebrating cinema here from a Pan-African perspective, this is also the place to open discussion about LGBT issues, particularly in countries where there is limited or no equality for same-sex relationships. And where living your life openly can be deadly.
Was he killed because he's gay, or was he in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Human rights campaigners say gay Ugandans have faced weeks of attacks and intimidation.
Last week, a man was beaten to death with a hammer in his home.
He was hit with a hammer on the head and died on the way to hospital.
And said that gays were recruiting 1 million children by raiding schools.
People fear that a gay person would now come in and, change their children. Nobody's trying to control anybody.
Case in point, Uganda, as the world saw with the brutal murder of that country's leading activist, David Kato, who was beaten to death. Questions arise as to whether it was a circumstance of a robbery or flat out being attacked for being gay.
It's unacceptable, to have this kind of situation happening still in 2011 now.
Ironically, Kato's death came on the heels of a tabloid newspaper, which plastered not only photos of individuals believed to be amongst that country's LGBT community, but also with the headlines, 100 top homosexuals, and the caption, hang them.
We're Africans, we have a strict culture and strict religion. I guess that's pretty much it.
On the African continent, homosexuality is illegal in 36 countries, and the fuel of hatred is rampant as mobs go after those suspected LGBT people with little regard for human rights.
First and foremost, we can give a message to the rest of the world that human rights are important, and human rights everywhere in the world are part of American foreign policy to press for human rights.
During the Pan-African Film Festival, same-gender loving relationships within the African diaspora are explored. In the film, Cameroon, Coming Out of the Nkuto, is a film about an attorney who helps to gain the release of men imprisoned for being gay. Another piece, Children of God, wherein same-gender loving males of different races find and explore their relationship in the Bahamas.
But they wanted to make sure that whatever image was coming forward was one that they felt was true. And that's another wonderful thing about this film, and I wish, quite honestly, that more African American films were like this. There is a broad scope of different types of Bahamians in this movie.
What these pieces do is perhaps open a door to understanding same-gender relationships and at the same time impact the struggle for global acceptance and the human rights of LGBT people.
This film has enhanced my life tremendously, because now there's a part of my being that is more conscious in terms of that area. So anytime a friend of mine is telling a joke that is geared towards gay people, I said, I don't want you to think that that's comfortable.
It's going to take a while, but it's beginning to sink in little by little. They're beginning to accept it.
We have to spread the message, speak it up, and hopefully we can get the attention of the people that can actually change behavior of thousands, maybe millions.
Mothers need to advocate for the rights of gay babies. Mothers need to advocate for the rights of gay babies. Isn't that quite something?
And Phylicia Rashad said it best. Perhaps the best way to end homophobia globally is for mothers to love their gay babies. From the Pan-African Film Festival in Los Angeles, Mark Noble, No More Down Low. Kendall, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. Great reporting as always.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Well, thank you very, very much. All right, Fierce Funny Women. That's the title of Showtime's current lesbian comedy special. And the woman you're about to meet now, she's emerging as a triple threat. She's funny, she's gay, and she's black. Get ready to laugh with Gloria Bigelow.
Like the other day, I saw him, and he answered me in color purple.
I'm not a queen of comedy yet, I know that, but I'm a princess. I would like to eventually become a queen of comedy and rule.
Hear ye, the princess of comedy has arrived, and her name, Gloria Bigelow.
I was like, sweetheart, how are you doing? And he was like, girl, child ain't safe in a family of men.
She's smart, funny, and delightful, and she surprisingly hails from the lily-white suburb of Pittsburgh, a place that proved to be her comedy training ground.
I grew up funny as more like a defense. You know, when you are the only black kid and, you want them to be laughing with you and not at you, right? So you use like funny little things as kind of like your defense.
And about that same time, there were other funny things going on with her too.
I knew I was like, I'm a little gay. Like I knew that a lot, I knew that a while, probably from like when I was like 11 or 12. I was like, I don't know what I am, but I am not, there's something else going on here. I didn't decide to deal with it until like I was turning 25.
I called him last night. I was like, hey, sweetheart, how you doing? He was like, trouble don't last always.
After discovering her own truth, and on the advice of a close friend, this Spelman grad turned away from acting and turned her attention towards comedy. She lied her way onto the stage of New York's famed Improv, where comedian Richard Klein gave her a piece of advice.
He's like, do some of your other stuff first. Let them like you, let them love you, and then let them know you're gay. And I think he was right.
I was like, you are a 30-year-old white man from the Midwest. Why do you sound like Sojourner Truth?
Sometimes I would go and I would get introduced by a comic that's like, she's got a nice set of tits. Like someone would do that and I'd be like, how could you think that that was a way? I had credits, like I have legitimate credits, you know what I mean? And you wanna introduce me with, I do have great tits, but that's not the way that I should be introduced, you know what I mean, at a club.
And though this princess is a rising star on her own account, she quickly gives her props to the queen for paving a way behind the mic.
I'm a huge fan of Wanda Sykes. She's just smart. The woman's a smart woman. Her wit is undeniable. I like that.
You're taking it too far!
So just being out, I think, is huge. And I think we've come to a place where we kind of want to be out now. We want to bring our whole selves to the table at all times. That's all I want, really. I just want to be able to be my whole self all the time, wherever I am, wherever I stand.
She's funny, right? Fierce Funny Women is running now through mid-April on the Showtime networks. Go to www.sho.com for dates and times.
All right, I can't wait to check it out.
Oh yeah, she's funny.
All right, hey now. We'll be back with much more Mardi Gras festivities right here in West Hollywood when we come back, so don't go anywhere. Hey, she's fierce. We got Medea, embrace. If the success of these films and TV show are any indication, I think it's safe to say that Americans love black men in drag. But are they laughing at them or with them? Check out our story.
Drag.
What is America's infatuation with black men in drag?
I don't know if there is an infatuation with it.
Well, let's see. This year alone, Martin Lawrence's Big Mama's Like Father Like Son has raked in a whopping $33 million. And in season 3, RuPaul's cable show is still running strong. And Tyler's Last Medea took home $90 million.
I think it's easier for white America to embrace a black man in drag.
Actor Jonathan Wallace has made a career playing characters in drag. Who could forget Blue, Vin Rhames' sidekick and Holiday Heart?
That I think sometimes when they see the likeness of a RuPaul or maybe a character such as myself working, they think maybe that's a step back. But so I do believe that even as African American people, we too are starting to look at the art form of it and just embracing the fact that that brother is working.
I think America's fascinated because they can't tell.
And all across the country, drag performers are working too. The nation's capital is all abuzz about the upcoming series,
Drag City.
Not only that you always say, oh, drag queen, all they doing is performing and lip syncing and stuff like that. We're gonna show, in this show, we're gonna give back to our community.
But blogger Daryl James says, all of these images of cats in couture is self-castrating. Writing, the black man in drag is one of the new coons. It's hip and chic, and the stereotype is comfortable for all who may have fear of a strong black man.
Why are black people complaining about what other comedians are doing? It's a comedic moment. People need to just chill. Let that go, man. Let it go.
If box office trends are any indication of future success, then I bet Tyler Perry is looking at himself another $20+ million for the opening weekend of Medea's Big Happy Family. And nobody's going to be laughing any louder than Tyler Perry all the way to the bank.
Wow, what a drag for Tyler, huh? Well, switching gears on a very serious note, HIV is affecting African American women and girls faster than any other ethnic group.
And in this edition of Straight Talk, Walisa solicits help from social media, and we're introduced to Precious, a courageous woman living with HIV.
Since 1995, the number of women living with HIV/AIDS has more than doubled.
December 1st, 2010, Global World AIDS Day. In Los Angeles, Chaka Khan, LeVar Burton, and a host of Hollywood heavyweights stood together to speak out about HIV in the black community and its far-reaching effects among women of color.
The worst thing we can do is to pin this on black men. That's the worst thing we can do. It's time for us to come out of the dark age and understand human sexuality comes in all shapes, forms, and fashions. And until we can, take it out of the dark, we're going to still have infection among women.
I didn't think an African American woman, heterosexual woman, at that, could acquire HIV.
Meet the real Precious. She's been living with HIV for 13 years. She discovered she had been exposed to the virus after her ex-boyfriend sent her a letter while he was sitting in prison.
And I was just devastated, crushed, because I kind of had a feeling in my spirit that I was going to test positive. And I do thank God for him too, for even though I think he should have told me in the beginning, but I think he just didn't know how because he probably thought I was going to ostracize him. But he did have enough courage, and it takes a lot of courage to tell someone that you're HIV positive. So I'm not mad at the brother.
And did you ever go there in your mind of how he may have gotten it?
Well, he didn't have any tattoos, and he wasn't an IV drug user. So I believe in my spirit that he went both ways.
Precious is such a brave woman, and I admire that. In fact, she's so brave, I wanted other women to connect to her story. So, through Facebook, social media, I thought I'd get some of my friends to ask her some questions about HIV. Corvina Harris asked, is there anything you would do differently if you could do it all over again?
Yes, that would be, I would definitely ask if he has taken a test and would have went down to the testing site and gotten tested together.
Columnist Mary Curtis asks, how has it affected your current relationships, especially as you date others?
It hasn't. I'm very open with my status. And I have a motto that if a brother decides that he doesn't want to be with me because I'm HIV positive, then rejection is another direction. So that means you're not worthy to be in my space, because HIV is just a small part of who I am.
We know that HIV affects anyone and everyone, including the U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Regina Benjamin.
You know, my brother died of HIV, and so it's very personal for me. But it's important that people understand that even though we have drugs to treat HIV, people are still dying. And so we need to keep the awareness up.
This is what HIV looks like. So if a woman wants to know if she's at risk, or a man, if he or she wants to know if they're at risk, they just go home and look in the mirror. Bottom line.
For Straight Talk, I'm Elisa.
To find out how to be better informed about HIV, simply click on the resources link on our No More Download website and educate yourself now.
That's right, Janora. We all know that education is the key. Here's what's coming up on our next episode of No More Download.
On the next No More Download.
Hello, this is the DL Dude.
The Voice.
I'm the blogger and I guess the founder of DLDude.blog.
The Mystery.
And I realize that I've been suppressing these feelings towards men for so long.
No More Download asks the question, who is the DL Dude? Then, Daryl Stevens in the hot seat.
What do you think your common denominator is about the guys that you've chosen to go out with?
Doug Spearman asking the tough questions.
That's not true.
The stars of Noah's Ark go one-on-one in a no-holds-barred interview. It's a No More Download exclusive.
All that and more on our next edition of No More Download, so be sure to join us.
How about we go get some more beads?
As long as you promise not to get me in trouble.
I can't promise that.
All right, everybody, from West Hollywood, reminding you to spread love and not hate, I'm Janora McDuffie.
And I'm Kendall Hogan. Goodbye.